Hey you guys, it's Monica and welcome back. Today we are doing a detailed tutorial on the peekaboo tumbler. So like literally 6 months ago, you guys, I did a story time, but I was making a peekaboo tumbler, and since then so many of y'all have asked for a detailed tutorial. So like I said, it only took me half a year but we're doing it. Here we are, let's go. So I'm starting with a Hog 20-ounce tumbler. I have spray painted it white and I am doing the Mod Podge method. And so just real quick, since at the beginning of the video, because I see some of y'all don't be watching to the end, and okay, fine, do your thing, but make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at PeriodSixDesigns, follow me on TikTok at PeriodSixDesigns, and subscribe to this channel. And it's funny, somebody left a comment on my TikTok like, oh, you should go live on here because you're so fun on YouTube. Like, yeah, girl, like we can turn up on TikTok, but I don't have enough people following me, so I can't go live. So the best I could do is these recorded voiceovers on these videos. So anyways, make sure y'all follow me on all my social media if y'all want to eventually one day maybe turn up. You know, we can do like a little craft and tell live or whatever. But yeah, so what I did is that I just did one layer of Mod Podge, and now I'm doing one layer of icicle glitter. You can pick up this glitter at PeriodSixGlitter.com. It is a beautiful white iridescent glitter. If you don't like the pink blue shift, we also have like a blue green shift one, which is shaved ice. So, cause you know, I got to plug myself, baby. It's a business. Yes. But yeah, so the thing I want everybody to remember when it comes to peekaboo tumblers is that thin is the name of the game. You want to do everything like once. So we're going to do this one layer of glitter. So pretty. Icicle looks good on everything. Y'all always see me use icicle. Like that's my girl. That's my go-to. So with that one layer of icicle glitter, now I'm going to seal it in with Counterculture DIY's Quick Coat. So like I said, the theme of to be successful in peekaboo tumblers, in my opinion, is doing one coat of everything and only doing everything once. So like you could do 2 layers of glitter, but don't, because it's just going to bulk up the cup, and you're doing so many layers of everything on this cup that you want to reduce the amount of layers as possible. So like if you need to go ahead and like paint your base of your cup, do that if it means you're only going to have to do 1 layer of glitter. And like y'all see, like there were some spots that you can see on my cup where I actually like had like I spray painted them down in my garage, and I put them in a dang reusable bag to bring them up to my craft room, and it was clanging against each other and they got like a little scratch. But I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna do, because what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to make sure that's hidden under the peekaboo design. So like that is not even a big deal. I'm not even gonna stress about that. I'm not even gonna worry about it. So yeah, just do a nice thin layer of your quick coat, and I recommend the quick coat just because it helps your epoxy just be smoother, more level. And how y'all know me, I always tell y'all pay attention to those edges. You see me giving that bottom edge a little extra love because it needs it. So next I'm going to go in, I let that sit for like, so between glitter and quick coat, it's an hour. Between quick coat and epoxy, I wait about 3 or 4. I don't do those right away just to give the whole cup time to just dry, because the worst thing that can happen is like you seal in wetness under epoxy. Ugh, it wouldn't be well. And so this is the Illuminate Amazing Clear Cast, the quick coat epoxy, and y'all, I love this stuff. Like I started my crafting journey using, have y'all been watching the basketball? We've been watching so much basketball. Oh my goodness, I never watched so much basketball in my life. But anyways, but when I started my crafting I've said it again. When I started my crafting journey, I had I used Illuminate epoxy because that was like the only epoxy at the time that was available at Michael. Like this is like 3-4 years ago at this point, like 4 or 5 years ago actually. And so yeah, and they have so many amazing products and everything out. Like it almost feels like I'm back home, like as corny as that sounds, but like their products are just good and they're easily accessible. They're very user friendly. So if you're not sure which epoxy to purchase and you're a beginner, I definitely recommend the Illuminate. The Amazing Clear Cast, this one is good if you work fast enough, because I was making the last cup that I was making, and that cup has that epoxy sure enough did start to set up on me after the 30 to 25 minutes. So if you're a slow mover, you think you need more time, I definitely recommend the Clear Cast instead. So yeah, go ahead and do that one layer. And so now is the next day. I went and gave the cup a little bit of a sanding to get everything nice and smooth, and there were just a few little spots that needed it. And so I found this lightning bolt design on Etsy, and I will leave a link to it below. And so this one had some outlining like around the lightning bolts, and that's why I liked it, and y'all see how that ended up looking. But I just take any old vinyl that I have in my drawer. This is Oracle 651 vinyl. It is permanent vinyl, but again, it's not a color I use often, so it's just laying in my drawer. And I just want to go ahead and cut the design you want. Remember, when you're doing a peekaboo, what you place on the cup is where you're going to pull it off at. So that's what's going to be visible. So anywhere I wanted that white icicle glitter to show through is where I'm going to place those lightning bolts. So I'm going to go ahead and lay those down on my cup. And so you want to make sure that these are on here firmly, but you don't want them on there too bad, like you're putting on permanent vinyl, because then it'll just make it harder for you to get it up. So like, just remember, press it on there good enough so like it's on there, it's not moving, and most importantly, no glue can get underneath it. But you also don't want to like press it down like it's gonna live on there forever. So just a little tip to be successful with this part. So once all that's done, I have all my glitters out. I'm going to be using the Suns Out Buns Out collection, which is our newly released summer collection. It's 7 iridescent glitters. I'm going to be using 6 of them. And so I'm going to go in with another layer of Mod Podge. And again, remember, we're working in many layers, so we're trying to keep the layers as thin as possible. So I'm only going to do this 1 layer of Mod Podge and 1 layer of glitter for this layer. And you're going to want to cover the whole cup. Anywhere where you want there to be glitter, just cover it. And so sometimes since I knew I was only doing 1 layer of glitter in these iridescents, I could see through them. I wasn't worried about having to mark where the bolts were, the lightning bolts, because I can see them clear as day through. But if you're using colors and your vinyl color is also a color that may blend in or may hide underneath your glitter that you put on, then definitely take like a Q-tip or something and scratch where that vinyl is so you know where to pull it up from. And if you haven't figured out, this is a double glitter peekaboo. So it's like, say you didn't want to do double glitter, you could have just put those bolts, some lightning bolts on there, and just spray painted and pulled them off. But you know, we like glitter everywhere, like glitter all the time. So we're doing a double glitter. And I decided to do just like a little rainbow swirl. I love, when I tell you I love these glitters, they're so beautiful. Let me tell y'all something, ladies. I know the men be watching the videos. Hey, how y'all doing? But this is for the ladies. Get y'all man not hype y'all up. You like, what you talking about? When I tell y'all, anytime my husband comes in my craft room and he see what I'm making, he hype me up. He like, damn, babe, that's nice. Damn, babe, that looks good. That looks awesome. Get y'all man not hype y'all up. Because even if it's ugly, he would have told me it looked nice. But he might have told me it looked ugly. But he know I be coming with that heat every time. So he be hyping me up. So ladies, get you a man to hype you up in whatever you do. You sitting there making cups, he better be saying them cups look good. And if he don't say they look good, he better be giving good constructive feedback. If not, put them out. And so I'm just doing a little doodah on the bottom. I'm not really too pressed about the bottom because, yeah, I don't ever be pressed about the bottom. Do not be doing swirls. So now these are some really sharp tweezers. I will leave a link to these below. You can just buy these on Amazon. But I've actually stabbed myself with those tweezers and bled. So I like to aim somewhere. So it depends on how I'm feeling. I use different techniques throughout the whole thing. So like right now I'm stabbing in the middle of let me say it like this. When the glitter is still, I only waited about 2 minutes from when I glittered the cup to now pulling them off. You do not wait until they're dry. Do not wait until they're dry. But when it's still I'm still in the early phases of pulling off all this design, I like to stab from the middle because the glue is still very much wet. But once I'm this took me probably about 20 minutes total. When I got closer to the 10-minute mark, I started using my X-Acto knife and I started working from the edge. So because once the glitter dries, it's a little easier to make sure you're not gonna scratch it, run into it, and move the glitter. But when it's still a little wet like it is now, you have to be so gentle in pulling it up that I prefer to try to stab the vinyl in the middle and then pull it to its sides like you see me doing. So those are just little tips. I hope that made sense. As far as the techniques that I like to use when doing it. So if the glitter's a little more dry, use your X-Acto knife and kind of try to pry up that edge and then pull it. And if it's a little still wet, stab it in the middle. Like you see, I'm cleaning out the middle right there. Stab it in the middle and then pull it out to the sides, because that way you'll have less chance of pulling up glitter and moving the glitter. So just little things, little tips and tricks I hope are helpful in doing this. I'm not going to waste y'all's time and show y'all me sitting there for 20 minutes and doing that. But once I pulled all of them up, this is how they look. And I did a few little touch-ups because I got a little wild, so that's why it looks like, you're like, girl, what happened in the back? It looked like there's a glitter massacre. There was. Don't worry about it, girl. We made it out. And so next, it's so pretty. Those colors look so good together. I'm a sucker for a rainbow. I like all rainbows, any kind of rainbows, any other kind of tone of rainbows. I'm the rainbow girl. But anyways, so now I'm just cleaning up. So this part is so important. That's why I wanted to leave this part in, is that when you're pulling it up, sometimes it'll leave like little raised pieces of glitter. So we're not only are we knocking off the excess glitter, but we're making sure that we're going in and we're using our X-Acto knife and we're kind of cutting off, essentially. We're just moving those, we're getting rid of, like, see how that little bulb, like that was just like a little dried up piece of like glitter and glued together that was still on the cup. So you see me like just lowering, like, see, I'm like cutting, I'm getting rid of those raised edges that are raised above where the glitter should be raised. Like, so of course, because it's a peekaboo, we have this layer of this swirl that is raised above where the icicle glitter is, but we're just making sure that nothing is raised above that. So knocking off the excess glitter and just straightening out any lines, cleaning up all our edges, and cleaning up any of those little glue glitter pieces that have found, that thought they found them at home on our cup. They got to go. Put them out too. All right, one more coat of quick coat, and I am moving by colors. So I decided not to spin it because it was spinning way too fast. Like, I could not get my life together. I'm like, I'll just hand spin it. So just taking, like, I like to do like a little dot method where I just put a little dot and I take my brush and I just work it out and I make everything nice. So I'm just gonna seal this in. And this is just to make sure that when I go and do that final layer of epoxy, that the glitter does not spread to other parts or inside of the bolts where I don't want them. I want those bolts to be very crisp, very clean, very much icicle. So that is what she looks like after that coat of quick coat. And now I'm going to do the final coat of epoxy. I'm not going to bore y'all to death with this whole video, but just know that I went ahead and I did another layer of epoxy. And again, the name of the game is working thin. I'm not out here trying to make it super thick. Why? Because I have one more layer. So a peekaboo cup is typically 3 layers. But when you're doing it like how I'm doing it, like with glitter and vinyl and all that kind of stuff. So we still have one more layer of epoxy to go. So just something to remember. We're still working as thin as possible on this cup. And now I'm just in the camera in the way. And then I let that spin. All right, so it is the next day. We're on day 3. And I have recut that design from the lightning bolts one more time, and then now this time it's in the vinyl that I want to leave on the cup. And so I had to find where the design started. And so you see there's these little outlines. These outlines were already in the design, like, but every bolt didn't have an outline, and honestly, I liked that. There might be somebody in the comments that's going to be like, why didn't you put the outline on every bolt? Girl, I didn't want to. I simply didn't want to. First and foremost, the design didn't come with it. And second off, I like it like that. And third off, you see my family just called me. It is the crack of dawn and my family is calling me. Which is why I couldn't focus when I was trying to do this. And you're probably like, girl, what is going on? But yeah, and so now I'm just going to, the bolts that I have the outline for, I'm just going to stick them on the cup. I didn't exactly go by the design that was like in the cut file itself. I kind of, after a while, I started freestyling because I couldn't figure out what outline went where. So I'm like, I'm just going to put them where I feel like they should go. And that's what I did, honestly. It's up to you. Like, you don't have to outline any of them. You can outline all of them. Like, you can, like, manipulate the cut file so you can have an outline for every bolt. It's really just up to you. Girl, it's your cup. Do what you want to do. Like, no, ain't nobody tripping. Like, unless they want to do it themselves, no one's tripping over here. You got this. So yeah, like, even while I'm talking to my family, like, I lost my piece of transfer tape. I'm like, where did my piece of transfer tape go? I'm like, I get so easily distracted. Like, transfer tape gone. Like, I don't like, I'm looking under my desk, next to my desk, behind my desk. I'm like, let me just get me a new piece of transfer tape, girl, because you're not paying attention and it has disappeared and it's never coming back. It's going to resurface when it's time to move. Well, actually, when I get down there to pre-clean the carpet before I vacuum. But y'all know how that go. And so I'm only going to show y'all one more to not bore y'all to death again, because I'm also on the phone moving super slow and not, I'm paying attention, but I'm not paying the best of attention. And this one hung over the edge a little bit, so I did take an X-Acto knife and just cut a little bottom piece off that I didn't really want to go under, like on the underside, because that's not the design look I was really going for. That little piece hanging off, I cut off. And so this is what it looks like when it's all done, and all the ones I wanted to put on there. And one more thing, now at this point, this is optional. I will say this one part is optional. I'm just using a little bit of quick coat on the pieces of vinyl just to help them stick down. Quick coat is really good to help vinyl stick in place. So if you got it, might as well use it. I'm not doing the whole cup, just the lightning bolts, just to make sure they stick and they're good, and that when I put that epoxy on, it won't move. And so this is your last layer of vinyl. Also, if you wanted to put a name on the cup or anything like that, or like a saying or anything, you would have wanted to do that before we do this last layer. And yeah, I did this one last layer, and this one still want to work thin, because at this point, if you haven't been working thin, your cup is probably really heavy. So just something to think about. But if you've been working thin, it's probably not too bad. And you want to just go ahead and get your epoxy on there, let it spin. And this is what you will have when your cup is all done. So there she is. She's super cute. She's super gorgeous. She's a super lightning bolt. And that's how she looks. So if you like these kind of videos, please don't forget to give them a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Tell me what's your favorite color from this latest collection. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram at PeriodSixDesigns. Follow me on TikTok at PeriodSixDesigns. Check out our website, PeriodSixGlitter.com. And I will see you guys in the next one.